So a recap to the our completed activities. So what are the activities we completed in the previous week here? So we started with the introduction. So normal introduction, what is SAP? So then after that, SAP modules. Then after that, we started the installation requirements. So we discussed about the installation requirements. So software and hardware, then installations we completed. Then after that, so after that installation we completed, that is fine. So but main thing is the what main important points during the installation time, what are the softwares we required for the installation, what are the log files we need to check, what is the port number for the installation, which tool we will use for the installation. So these are the very important things here. So no one ask like when you will get the next button, when you will get the export button, when you will get the these things here. Main thing is the what exactly happens during the installation time means the build time. What will happen when you build the home? One new home will be built with a 2 BHK room. One new home will be constructed, right? Same as like here, when you install the SAP system, installation of the SAP system means one brand new house you are building. So what exactly you will get here? Two instances you will get, means two bedrooms you will get here. Two instances. Two SAP instances you will get here. In the SAP instances means, so one is the PaaS. So PaaS means primary application server. Previously, it was known as CI, Central Instance, right? Then after that, ASCS you will get, then CS, right? So previously, nowadays no one is calling. Well, previously means the word got changed to the PaaS, primary application server. Primary application server means first application server. That's it. First application server, SAP application server. Then ASCS instance here. So total, when you install the SAP system, total there the 7 work process will be created. So DVEB, DVEBMGS, right? MGS. In that, so in that, so 5 will be in the primary application server plus 2 will be in the ASCS instance. Remaining 3 are the additional process, dispatcher, IGS and ICMN are the additional process in the application server. Each application server, it is there. So normally shortcut, they will call it as the application server. So what is first you install, right? That is called the primary application server, right? So like that, these application servers, we can add after installation. If there is a situation, there is a business demand, your system is getting slow, then we can keep on adding the one more application server. We can just keep on installing the additional application server. That time it's called the AAS, additional application server. In the shortcut, we will call it as the additional application server, right? So this normally we will call it as the AAS here, but this is optional, but that you will not get immediately. So during the installation time, just you will get these two instances you will get from SAP side, right? So from here, then once installation all you got it here, now we have to log into the SAP system here, right? To log into the SAP system, you need the SAP GUI. GUI is required in our desktops. Without that one, we cannot able to log into the system. GUI is required. So GUI, we got it here in our desktops here. So right in our desktops, we have the GUI. So you can see the GUI is there here. So here we know how to add the entries here. So there is a new option. This is the latest version of the GUI SAP Logon 8. So here we have click on the plus symbol here, connection. Then next, now we can add the application server details. So direct custom application server, direct application server. Sir, I have more than one application server is there. I have more than one application server is there. This is the login pad. I have more than one application server is there. Then which application server I have to log in? In that case, you have to use the ASCS. In that case, you have to use the ASCS instance. You have to use it here. Why? Because So every application server will connect to message server only. Message server only. This is your logon pad. Okay. So if you if you connect with directly, if you connect with here, then if this is down, then you can. So if this is down, you cannot able to log in. So if you have the more than one application server, this is not a recommended approach. In that case, you need to connect via message server. Message server means ASCS. Why? Because message server has some inbuilt functionalities, inbuilt load balancing, and route the request to the available application server, and which application server has the less load, it will route the request to the that application server. It will route the request to the that application server here. So that will happen in the application message server here, right? So okay, so that we can discuss more how the load distribution will happen and how. So when we have the that point we reached. Okay, so now we are discussing about the so dialogue work process. Why? Because in the work process, first of all, so these are the first topics we have to start with the our administration part with the work process administration part. SAP work process administration part. That is our first topic here. As part of the administration part, so first work process is the dialogue work process. Dialogue work process. So dialogue work process is responsible for take the user request from dispatcher and process the user request. Take the user request and process the user request here. Whatever the user wants to execute, then whatever the user wants to log into the system, first dialog work process, it will take care of your request, then process your user request until you log off until you log off from the system. So one work process will stick with you. One work process will help you here. Okay, that is the dialog work process here. So for the all the work process normally, so the dialog responsibilities are SM50, SM66 are the local and global work process overview we can see. So that is the dialog work process transaction codes. But it's not only dialog related status we can see. All the work process related status we can see it here in the SM50, SM66 transaction code. SM50, SM66 transaction code we can see it here, right? So initially, so we can log into the SAP system in your logon pad. So just if you type the SM50 transaction code, so there is a work process will be displayed here. Here you can see the work process here. By default, 10 dialog work process, then 4 or 5 BTC work process you will get here. 5 work process you will get. But later, if we want to increase, we can increase it. Depends upon the our use case, we can increase it or we can decrease it. So we can do it. Normally, we can increase it. But how can you, how many you can increase it? Well, because each work process will occupy the some amount of memory, right? If you keep on increasing the 100, then your system should have the enough memory, right? Enough memory. So suppose if you take enough memory, so then if you don't have that much of memory, entire system will go on, system will not start. So that is the use case here, right? So that is that type of things that we can do. That is the case. So we have to for cross check or we can install the one more application server. We can install it. One more application server. We can install it here, right? So dialog, which is responsible for taking the user request, processing the user request. So here we can see the work process status. So mainly we need to check the what is the status of the work process here, whether some work process are free or not, we need to check it out here, right? So out of 10, 9 are free, means one is in use here, which means one work process is free status here. So you running status. So you can see the status here. Suppose if the all work process are running status here, so the new user, they cannot log into the system. Why? Because here dialog work process will pick up your user request. So new user cannot log in. So we need to investigate what exactly is running. From what time onwards is running here, how much time is taking. So write all the information, you will get it out here. Is then running the report, is what he is doing. We can check it out. So something talk like something is running the reports or some jobs or some work he is doing in the dialogue mode. So that is not a recommended approach. System will freeze it. So we need to check why the work process are still attached. Then we need to check the logs here. Work process trace logs. If you go to the trace file information, if we go to the trace file information, we will come to know all those things here. Then we can reset or we can kill that work process or so we can take the respective action, right? So mainly thing is the as part of our duty, log into the system SM50, we need to check the whether we have the free work processor available or not. So yes, then no need to take the any action. Then immediately you can go to the another transaction code. So here also you can check the so this is a global work process. Sorry, SM50, SM60, both are same. But so here we can only see the global system wide. If you have the more than one application server, one more application server, then that application server related details we can see it here. If one is there, their details we can see it here, right? So one is there SM50, SM66 global, all work process related information we can see it there, right? That is the dialogue responsibilities. So update. The next one is called the update work process. Update is like a
Sir, one small question.
yeah.
Suppose I have three application servers, sir, and I see that third one is having some issue. So if I want to log on to third one, in GUI, what should I put, sir?
So you need to log into the third one. You need to put the third one. You need to put the third one here. Instead of group application server, you need to put the third one application server and their instance number you have to maintain. Why? Because this is for the custom application server, right? You have to maintain. Suppose I want to log into the individual application servers, then go to the SM51, then double click it out, then you will get the information here. Means all the three will be displayed here. Then you can select the third one, just double click it out, third one will be displayed here.
For each application server, host name will be different, sir, or same?
We can install on the same host name or different host name also we can install it, but instance number is different. So how can we differentiate means by using the instance number.
Instance. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so update work process. Update work process. What is mean by update work process means updating the records, updating the user records, updated records into DB table level, right? So in the dialog mode, user is logged into the system. He done the payment, he done the transaction, he booked the ticket in the irctc.com, he booked the ticket in the busticket.com. So somewhere he booked the transaction means he done the transaction, he completed the transaction. The transaction will generate the records, some update records will be generated at application level. So here update will process those transactions to DB table levels. It will update the data, means application to DB, whatever user is done, that will update the data into. So here in the table level, it will update it here. That is the update work process. Updating the user records into table level is done by the update work process. So where can we check that update related things here? Where can we check whether updates are failed or updates are having or not? So where to check here, right? So SM13 is the transaction code. SM13 is the transaction code used for administration of the update records, right? Suppose, so when the transactions are executed, so here, so SM13, we can see the whether the updates are happening or not, failure or not, we can see it here. If you go to the SM13, here we can check the, so only you want to check the all the cancelled work process, cancelled one, it will be displayed. So I want to check all. Normally we will check all here. This is the default option. From which date to which date? From 11th to 12th, right? Then you can check it out. Are there any updates or failure or not? We can check it out. Update or failures or not, we can check it out here. Updates are failure or not, so we can check it out here, right? So here we can check it out, updates are failure or not, we can check here. Otherwise, I want to check the last 1 week or first last 1 week onwards, I want to check it out. Then you can see any failures, it will be displayed here, right? I want to check without remove the dates, and you can check it out here. It will be displayed the there the 4 update records got found, which means these are the transactions got failure in SAP system, which means it is not updating at a database level. Why? Because each and everything should be update database level. But these records are not getting updated in the DB table level because of, so there are the some issues here, right? Normally, if you see here, error, right? What is the transaction code when it got failure, timelines, who is the user, which client here, right? So if you double click on this one, here you will come to know what is the exact error here, right? What is the exact error here, right? Update was cancelled, maybe some duplicates, so some interval is missing, something is missing here, right? So then our duty is, in case of failures are there, we can try to repeat the update, right? So started here, so still it is failing. Then still it is failing. Normally, if any update records got failure, we have to inform to the respective functional team. Why? Because they knows what they have to do with the data, whether the data already there or something duplicates or something system issues, whatever it may be. So they will take care of that one. Also, if it is required, what they will do, if required, so select client copies related things here. I think 3 times they got executed. I think it got success. So right, maybe if we can delete this one, if we can delete this one, see here it got processed. So the failure one got processed here. Like that we can process it. Like that we can process it here. If they asked us to process this one, we can so process it here, right? So they will process the things, they will process the update records, the records whatever they have done, that will be generate as a one update records here. It will generate as a one update records will be generated here, update record will be generated here. So here functional team can make the decision, make they are the decision maker, so whether this data is really required or not. So when it got failure, so 25th 6th, right? So 25th, 6th month, it got failure. So what is the client here? 901 client. So is it exist or not? First of all, is it exist or not? So 901 is there. So then, so they will take the respective action here. Our duty is in checking the daily, as part of the daily monitoring, go to SM37, check in the last 24 hours any update got failures or not. So we need to check that button, then we need to inform to the respective teams. Respective teams, we have to inform to the respective teams here, so that they will take care of the actions here. Means functional team. Why? Because they are responsible for the data. So and everything. So technical things we have to check and we have to inform to them. So they will cross check. If required, they will ask us to delete, or so they will reprocess the field update modules or anything. They will reprocess it here, right? So that is the update related things here. That will be done by the update work process here, right? So here you want to check only cancelled one, you can check it out. You want to be updated, request, we can see it here. V1 executed, V1, V2. What is mean by V1, V2 here? If you see here in the updates, we have the two updates here. One is the update request, one second one is the update request, update task 2. Two updates are there here. Two updates are there here. So V2 updates means less critical changes, less critical secondary changes that will happen by V2. V2 will process the less critical and everything. So most of the update records, it will be handled by the update work process. So critical updates and also important updates, important records will be updated. But if any less critical, if that is busy, then update number 2 will take care of the less critical activities will be done by the update 2 here. So that will be happened here, right? So that is the update 2 here. So update 1 is the critical. and primary changes. So that will be updated. That will be changes will be updated here, right? So V2 is the less critical changes. Less critical changes will be updated here, right? So some updates are critical, some updates are uncritical. So it will divide it. So you can handle the critical and main changes here. You can handle the unimportant changes to the system. You can handle like that. It will take care of the V1 and V2 here. So in SM13, we can see it here. So if you just select all, then you can select all and click on the execute button. Here it will be displayed here. It will be displayed here what transaction code it is executing and all the information it will display. We can also create it here, right? So in SM14, SM13 is for the updates, right? To check the whether the failed updates are there or not, we can check it out. SM14, we can check whether update is active or not. SM14, we can check whether update is active or not here. Update is active or not. So you can go to the here SM14, click on the enter button. Here it will be display the any update is active or not. Sometimes what happens due to the system issues, update will go to the deactivated status. Deactivated status here. So here, if the update is deactivated, then system will not update anything in the DB level, will not commit any changes, will not save any changes here. So why? Because update got deactivated, right? Suppose example, so let me take the one more session here. Now update got deactivated. Suppose I am trying to create the one of the user. Example, I am of the user, I am trying to create it here. I'm trying to create the one of the user. Okay. So normally if you, these are the very important user creation. These all are the very important changes here. So which means it should update TB table level, right? So now I click on the save button. Whatever you have done, you click on the save button. See, still it is processing only. It is not committed in your transactions or your data. Right? Keep on loading, 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 loading. So, but what's happening here in the display screen? Update delayed, wait, update delayed, wait. So what's happening here? Your update got deactivated. Update got deactivated here. Update got deactivated. So that's the reason it's not updating. We can see it here. We can see it here. If you go to the here we can see V1 processed, critical update got processed. So it's not saving it database level. It's not saving in database level, which transaction code, what time, which user, all the information is displayed here. All the information is displayed here. You can see it here, what's happening here, right? So non-important things are not getting processed. V2 not getting processed here, right? So which means so this is still there. This is still there here. So what I will do, see here, it's still processing. It's not saved. The transaction is not saving here because update is not there here, right? Update is, we have killed the update. You stopped the update here. Let me take the one more session here, GA session. Let me go to the SM14. Then immediately just click on the activate button, right? You come to here. This transaction will be saved now, right? Let's see here. Immediately it will pick up the request. Data will be saved here. Which data will be committed. Your transaction will be committed here. Right? Your transaction got committed means data got saved at table level. Here, if you just click on the refresh button, that will be gone. Right? So which means what happened? Changes are saved into the DB table level. DB table level, the changes are saved here. So what's happened here? So here in SM14, the update got deactivated. Update got deactivated in the SM14 transaction code. SM14 transaction code update got deactivated. Because of this reason, you can see the so our system not committing any transactions. System is not committing any transactions, either user creation or materials, document, purchase order, ticket, anything, whatever it may be, the users are doing. So everything will not commit it here, will not commit any transactions here, right? That is the main thing of the update work process here, right? So one thing is here, if it is cancelled status every day, sometimes due to some system internal issues, it will go to the cancelled state, deactivated status or deactivated status here. So then as part of our daily activity, every day when you join the shift, you need to log into the shift system. You need to execute the SM50, SM66, then SM13 and SM14 also you need to execute it here and see whether update is active or not. Okay, update is active. Then no need to take the any action here. So directly can go back and directly can go back here. Only status we can check it out here. Go back, and if it is the down, then we have to take the screen capture for evidences. Then we can just start up the system. Why? Because when it is down, it will record the changes by what user, then what time it got recorded. Then when you activate it, the changes are gone, right? Update is active here, right? Cancelled update, same again, how many records are cancelled, that will be displayed here, right? All update records, all. This is a normal related things here. Server groups. So server groups, parameters. These are all the things are not required. We won't touch all those things. If any changes are required or all those things here, we will change the parameter value, update maximum attempts, retries. So how many times you have to retry the update record. There's some parameters here. There's a parameter concept that time. So it's the update related things here, right? So how many times you need to do the retry maximum attempts, which means so how many times you have to retry it, then it will go to the cancelled status. So like that, we have the values, we can change it here. But so normally we won't touch the default values here. We have to keep it the default values. Then mainly here in this screen, we will check the update is active or not. That's it. Only one thing we will check. We'll go to the SM13. Then here we will check the failed update in the last 24 hours, nothing. Then we will make it as a green. Then we will go to the another transaction code. That's what we have to do as part of the our basis daily monitoring. Okay, that is the update records. Okay, SM13, SM14 are the transaction codes for the update related things here. Okay, so the next one is the Enqueue work process, right? Enqueue work process here, Enqueue mechanism, which means the locking mechanism here. So what is mean by locking mechanism, right? Where the Enqueue work process will be available, where the Enqueue work process will be available. In which instance we have the Enqueue work process will be available. Anybody knows?
Yes, yes.
Right? Yes, yes, yeah. Right? So this is like kind of locking mechanism here. Locking that manages the lock table, that manages the locking here. So there is only one Enqueue server in the any system, either distributed or high availability. There is only one Enqueue server. They are the various installation types, but only one Enqueue server here. One Enqueue process will be available here. One Enqueue process here, right? So what is exactly here? What is the use of the Enqueue server here, right? Enqueue, right? Locking mechanism here. Then what is mean by locking mechanism here? Example, let's take the outside of example here. Suppose there is a one bus ticket you are booking here. There is a one person is there, he is trying to book the Windows system. He is also trying to book the Windows ticket, right? Windows ticket is trying to book. Both are trying to access the one seat. Then in that case, first in, first out. Whoever logged into whoever the clicked that selected that seat is applicable for that person only. It will not be visible for next person. It will say like seat already booked, all it's already being so booking by some other process or in progress by other process. Why? Because immediately as soon as you log into the SAP system, when you start the transaction, something work, immediately it will lock your transaction. Other, in order to verify by others, it will lock your transaction. So Enqueue means locking mechanism will be done by it will lock your transaction here, right? What is meant by locking mechanism in SAP. Like why it is very helpful here? Why? Because to avoid the duplicates here. They are the to avoid the duplicates. So here SAP will use the locking mechanism concept here. Inconsistency. Why? Because this ticket also booking by that person and one more person also booking the same ticket. One ticket and a two-person means it's a inconsistency, right? So that's why why? Because that's why dispatcher first in, first out. They have the mechanism of the dispatcher is first in, first out. Whoever logged into the dialogue mode with the dialogue user, dialogue work process, then whenever he immediately selected the ticket, then the ticket is applicable for that only. Same as like in SAP also, same as like in SAP also here. So I'm trying to edit the one of the transaction code here. Suppose like I'm going to the one of the company code, I'm trying to create the group here. All right, I'm trying to edit it here. So one more person is logged in, then he is also trying to edit it the same transaction code here. It will say like boss, whatever you are trying to execute it here, that is already locked by the user. You have only display access is possible. You have only display access is possible. Like that it will display means when the other person is doing the editing, another person cannot, we can own that person can only edit it sometimes. So another person just can only do the display mode, you can see it here. So here SM12 is the transaction code. SM12 is the transaction code here. So to check the locking mechanism locks. So if you go to the SM12 transaction code, here we can check the locks. So we want to check the particular client related logs. Otherwise, if you want to check all, then if you want to check the all the usernames, then you can star it here. Click on the execute button here. Then they are the locks will be displayed here. They are the locks will be displayed here, right? So see here all. So they are the something like they are doing the some client copy here. Some client copy they are doing here. 196 client. 190 SAP star, SAP star. It's a 10th. 10th means yesterday. So as for the system time, it's a yesterday. Why? Because it's a US time zone. Yesterday, Saturday. So then 10th, this is the one. Today we created. Today we created here. So what is exactly yesterday? If any lock entries which are older than 24 hours, more than 24 hours, we can report to the user, then we can cancel it. We can cancel it here. Any lock entry should not be more than 24 hours as per the company policy. See here, all are the, so some transactions are running here. So these are the some old transaction code. These two are the which we executing now, which we are executing now, which we are editing, that is locked here. Let's see in the system why these are very locks are there. If the locks are there, system responses, something is running in the system, very long time, very longer time, something is running in the system. So these are the jobs. Let me check. Nothing is there. So nothing is happening. Just got stuck. Just these things are got stuck in the SAP system here. So we need to remove the star, or if you put the star, if you put the star, star means all in SAP, all will be displayed, right? So maybe these locks we can delete it. It's not required. It's not required. These locks are not required here. We can cancel these locks here, SM12 locks. So why? Because these are the old, so more than the days. So it's removed. So these are the now. So don't touch now here. If you remove this now, current user transaction will got cancelled here. Right? Why? Because currently user is doing some editing here. Once he done the editing here, then immediately the locks will be free. Immediately the locks will be free here. Alright. So which means what's happening? Whenever user doing something, some editing, about like uh, I'm going to do something here in the system. I'm going to add the one table entry. Suppose like SE11. you will get all those transaction codes. Don't worry. I am going to add one thing here. So whenever you are doing this kind of work here, immediately in SM12, the logs will be generated here. Logs will be generated here. SM12, the logs will be generated here. So whenever you going to edit it, now you are in the display mode, you are not editing here. Just you are checking the fields and everything. Whenever you go inside, then trying to edit it, that time it will lock it here. That time it will lock it here. It will do the locking mechanism here. When you are displaying, that is not available. That is, other people also can do that one here, right? Other people also can do the same thing in the systems here. Other people also can do the same thing in the systems here, right? So now you are trying to edit it something. You are in the edit mode. Something like that you are editing here in the system, right? So what will happen here in the lock entry? The locks will be displayed here. The locks will be displayed when you are editing, and when you are doing, it will be displayed. Why? Because sometimes here locks also, there the types of locks are there in SAP, right? So which means, so there are the types of locks. Types of locks are there in SAP here. In the locking mechanism also, there are the types of lock modes are there here. There is the S lock. S lock means shade lock. Then E, whenever it is displaying, the E means Enqueue lock, exclusive lock here. Exclusive lock here. Then the third one is the yes. That is the exclusive non-cumulative. Then O means optimistic, like optimistic lock here, optimistic lock here. There are the four types of lock modes are available. Four types of lock modes are available. Suppose like when you are trying to edit something here, when you are trying to edit something here, so other persons will get the display access. Only you can able to display it here. Something like that. It will generate the some information. Why? Because other person is doing the table editing. Other person is doing the table editing, and you cannot see the all those things. You can only see the, so you just that log got generated, right? What is doing is doing the some table editment. This is the lock argument here, right? So what is the lock mode here? This is very important. What is the lock mode here? NQE. E means exclusive, cumulative, exclusive, exclusive, cumulative here. So shared lock. Sometimes you will get the shared, means the table is shared between everybody. So which means multiple people, multiple times at a time they can update it here. But some tables they cannot update at a time. Only one person they can update at a time. Other person can view it, can display it here. That is called the exclusive here, which means a exclusive lock that protect the from others. So that protect the locks from the others here, which means where at a time, at a time only one person can edit the table, others cannot do it here. That is called the, so it that will protect the locks from the other transactions, other transaction. It will, that is called the exclusive here, right? There is a shared lock. Shared lock means several users, means several transactions can access the, at the same time they can access the data in the display mode, or they can use it here, right? That is called the shared locks are accepted even from different team also, different persons, different members, or you are different members. You can edit a time multiple screens, you can open it, you can do that one. That is called the shared lock. Why? Because that lock will be shared across the all the users, so nothing will happen. Why? Because that is not the data system will decide. You no need to worry about the what is the lock mode and everything here, right? So then optimistic lock, O means it's a optimistic locks are behave like a shared logs, can be converted into the, so normally we won't see here, we won't see here. So only we cannot decide which lock we have to, system will decide. System has the some inbuilt functionalities here. System will decide which lock mode we have to assign it here. But as part of our duty as a basis consultant, you need to log into the system, check here any lock entries which are older than 24 hours. Here also older than 24 hours or 48 hours. So that it depends upon the your company will define that strategy, the time strategy here, right? So if it is a 24, normally people will use the 24 hours. If it is the lock entry is more than 24 hours, if the user is activity, then 24 hours means here it date will be displayed here. So then what we can say, this if more than, then user is not doing, just log the, so means what will do, user will open the changes here. In the hurry burry, you won't close all the sessions. Then immediately he will log off. He will also not properly log off. He will minimize everything. He will go for the break. 1 day completed, 2 days completed, 3 day completed. Still he is doing. Still is the session is active sometimes. Then when the other users are trying, other users are will get the so similar data, similar error message. Why? Because they cannot edit it. Why? Because already the previous person already initiated the lock entry, then he gone, he went for break here. So immediately what will happen, so what we have to check as part of the daily monitoring, we need to check the when was the lock is initiated, then select the transaction, then delete the locks after the approval. Your manager will tell you, so boss, go ahead and delete that locks. Why? Because user is not there, is not doing anything in the system, then go ahead. So just locks got stuck due to some internal system issues. Sometimes what happens, the locks will be stuck in the SAP system. Locks will be stuck in the SAP system here. So normally SAP will have the some timeouts. We have the some timeouts here. So SAP, when your session, GUI session is idle, then means your organization set the timeout parameter. Then what will happen? Your organization set the timeout parameter, what will happen? Automatically, if you are idle more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you are not doing anything, session will be timed out. So that time locks will be released. Sometimes what happens, there is no timeout parameters. Then session will be stay like this only. Then it will impact the others who are doing the similar activity or different activity. It will impact it here. So as part of our duty, basis duty, log into the SM12, check are there any, or are there any client or any user lock entries which are older than. So it will display the number of locks here in the real time. Then we can check it out. Suppose if you want to check one of the ECC production system here, we go to the SM12. See, there are the lock entries are there here, right? All are some task service update, cloud ALM related things here. So some background RFC related things. So these are the system internal. O lock also initiated, optimistic lock here. So after some time, this optimistic lock will be converted to the exclusive lock only. Okay. So you don't need to worry about the what type of lock and what is this lock. Just to remember the number of lock modes here, right? So shared lock, it will be shared with all the. So exclusive lock means at a time only one person can edit the transaction, other can view the data, display the data. Exclusive lock, non-cumulative exclusive here. Non-cumulative exclusive lock here, not cumulative here. Whereas, so cumulative locks can be requested several times, right? So non-cumulative lock can only be requested once by the same transaction. Only one it will be, further lock will be rejected. Further lock will be, even you cannot display the data as well. So system internally will perform these operations. So which means I want to assign for this user this lock. I want to assign this lock to this user. Then how it is possible? So it's not possible. Why? Because the locks will be done by the system during the internal processing. So you no need to worry about the locked modes also here. Just you need to see what our duty is. If any lock entry more than 24 hours, take the approval from your manager or everything, delete it, cancel it here. You cannot permanently delete it. Why? Because if user is really doing something here, is really doing the one big transaction, is doing some some millions of transaction is doing in the system. If you cancel it, the transaction got cancelled, then your company will lose the transaction, right? Because user will not do anything here. So because he will he will do another site and he will do it, right? So that is the reason. So we are there daily monitoring, we need to come and we need to see the whether so any old locks are exist in the system or not. Why? Because there is a limitations in the system lock table. There is a lock table here. That lock table got full, then system will not accept any connections here. So we need to make sure if any older locks are there, that will that we have to delete it here. Sometimes what happens when your user is doing something, company coded it that time, there are the multiple, the thousands of lakhs, thousands of hundreds of thousands of locks will be so initiated one transaction. So that time it will be dangerous to the system. That's why always we need to always we need to check the any older locks are available. Those locks we have to delete it. That is the our duty here. Okay, that is about the locking. So today we have the two transaction codes, two work process update, and the locking mechanism means locking. So those two things we can practice it here today. Okay, SM12, SM13, then SM14. So these two three things we can practice it for today. Okay, just check it out what's there here. What is our duty? Okay, our duty is our duty, whatever our task is, only check those tasks here. So whenever issue comes, we can check more, but only our duty is so check the whatever our responsibility we need to check here what's happening. See here, locks are removed automatically. So after previously we have the 5 or 6 locks are there. Now so you keep on updating, the task is completed, that is going out, that is going out here, right? The transactions are going out here. Why? Because system is behaving, system is processing, that is going out. We can observe it. Sometimes what happens, the locks will stay same, the locks will stay same here, right? So that is the locking mechanism.